Thanks for tuning in to Unbreakable with Chris Chamasiros. So on the show today, we have a lot of wild things going on in the universe, in the world, in the United States of America. The Epstein files were released, some more Epstein files. And just when you think you haven't heard it all, you actually have heard it all now. What a bunch of degenerates we have running the entire universe. We have people that were literally eating children. It comes out in the Epstein files that these elites, these psychopaths, these whatever that this is, they're not human. Comes out that they were eating children. I mean, it sounds completely ridiculous, I know. But that's where we're at. I mean, that's what it says in the files, that children were being eaten, slaughtered, their intestines were being eaten, and you're just like, yo, what the hell am I actually reading right now? But I didn't release the files. That's what it says in the files. And the craziest thing about all of it is this. When you put this in perspective, these psychopaths, they have everything. They have money, they have fame, they have enough money to last 100 lifetimes, all the luxuries of life. And, you know, they're billionaires. Like you see the one file with Bill Gates. And Bill Gates is so pathetic that he has to have Jeffrey Epstein hook him up with women. Now, fine, some people will say it's because they were under, whatever the case. He's Bill Gates. He could walk in the mall, go up to 100 women and introduce himself and say, hey, I'm Bill Gates. I'm a multi-billionaire. Let's have some type of relationship. You take care of me, I'll take care of you. It would be as simple as that, wouldn't it? And you know what? I'm sure there'd be some women that would oblige him as long as they got what they wanted. But what did Bill Gates do? That wasn't good enough. Access to every woman on the planet was not good enough for Bill Gates. What did he want to do? He wanted to meet some underage Russian girls and get a sexually transmitted disease. It comes out in the files that he got a sexually transmitted disease. Then he wants Epstein, of all people, to get him medicine so he can sprinkle it on his wife's food without her knowing. It's like, dude, what is going on here? Then you have Zohran Mamdani, and people say it's alleged. It's not really true. Zohran Mamdani's mother is in these Epstein files, and then there's pictures being leaked. Zohran Mamdani as a baby on Epstein Island. And you want me to believe that this is just a coincidence that he's now the mayor of New York City? I don't believe that at all. And it's all playing out before our eyes. The madness is all playing out before our eyes. So, you know, they keep saying, oh, that's not a real picture. That's bullshit. Let me bring up the picture. I'm not buying that at all. I believe the picture is 100% authentic. Let's look at it. Zohran Mamdani and Epstein Island. Let's look at this picture. Well, let's look at this picture first. So somebody, what's his name? Alex Jones is saying that there's going to be an investigation because some people believe that Zohran Mamdani's daddy is actually Jeffrey Epstein. And would that be too far-fetched? Right? Knowing everything that we know now, would that really seem like a stretch? Like, would you really be surprised? Would you really, if you gave yourself a timeout, would you really be surprised if you found out that Zohran Mamdani's daddy was Epstein? But I always forget his first name for some reason. I don't know why, but if, you know, I always call him Brian Epstein. I have no clue why, but would that really surprise you? No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't surprise me the slightest bit. I'm trying to look for this other picture. It shows him, his mother, him as a child, you know, posing with Bill Clinton. I'm sure we'll be told it's AI. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Look at little Zohran there. Little no wonder why he is the way that he is. No wonder why Zohran is a piece of garbage. That's his mommy right there. I'm pointing her with the point. I don't know if you can see it. Bill Clinton and Jeffrey Epstein, not Brian Epstein. I always call him Brian. Are you really surprised at this point? Hey, think about what you're reading in these Epstein files. It's just wild, man. Not only are they having sex with children, underage people, they're eating them. They're eating them. The elites, they just sit back and laugh at all of us. And while we're on this topic, let's talk about President Trump. Now, President Trump, here's my beef with you. Here's my problem with you. You say you got nothing to hide, right? You say you weren't on the island. I'll give you that. Okay, fine. You're on record 30 years ago calling the island a cesspool and saying you don't know what goes on there. I'll give you that. But your excuse that you didn't want the Epstein files released because you didn't want good people getting hurt. What the F are you talking about? These are good people? These are good people? Eating children? Having sex with underage children? These are good people to you? Well, not everybody's doing that. Well, not everybody in the files is doing that. Oh, well, okay. Well, if they weren't doing it, then that clears their name. Like Russell Wilson's name was involved. Because Russell Wilson somebody contacted Russell Wilson, one of Epstein's assistants, about buying his plane. So Russell Wilson gets mentioned. Now, anybody with a brain in there knows that Russell Wilson had nothing to do with it. They read it. Oh, it was about a plane, whatever. No big deal. You just move on to the next paragraph. But what about all the pedophiles, all the Satanists, all the other pieces of garbage that are eating children, President Trump? You wonder why your presidency's in complete shit. You didn't think that these files were going to come back and bite you on the ass. You knew it was in these files. And you knew these files were going to get released. And if you had nothing to hide, you know what you would have did from the jump? You would have said, I don't give a F. Release the effing files. It doesn't have nothing to do with me. If I would have started feeling the heat as the president of the United States, if I would have started feeling it, knowing that the public is really bashing me, and I had nothing to do with it, I'd be like, you know what? Release the files. I got nothing to do with it. I don't care. But that's not what Trump did. Trump wanted it hushed. Oh, you're still talking about the Epstein files. Remember that? Haven't we moved on from Jeffrey Epstein? Dan Bongino. Dan Bongino claims that Epstein killed himself. The same slum, I call him Slum Gino. Slum Gino says, they asked him, as soon as he retired from the FBI, what was your greatest accomplishment? He puts this face on. Keeping Israel safe. Who's keeping us safe, Dan? Who's keeping us safe? From the pedophiles, from the warmongers, from the illegals. Who's keeping us safe, Dan? Not you, not President Trump. But your main objective as the FBI director was to keep Israel safe. You're just a putz. You're just a clown. And Dan Bongino wants credibility now. Dan Bongino swore up and down, swore to God that Epstein killed himself. And there was nothing to see in these files. Really, Dan? There's nothing to see in these files, huh, Dan? I mean, we all know everybody, and then it gets even better. Then it gets even better. President Trump is only doing any of this to cover for Israel. That's it. That's the only reason why he's doing this, is his big Jewish donors don't want the files to be released, because we all know that Jeffrey Epstein worked for the Israeli government. If you want to sit there and tell me that Jeffrey Epstein didn't work for the Israeli government, go F yourself. Ghislaine Maxwell, excuse me. Her father stole the nuclear codes and the nuclear weapon documents from America and handed it over to Israel. And she just happens to be the madam for Jeffrey Epstein, collecting all these young women and children to send to the pedophile island. And all you effing clowns, the Patrick Bet-Davids of the world, the Alan Dershowitzes of the world, the Mark Levins of the world, the Ben Shapiros of the world, you will sit there like the evil pieces of garbages that you are, and you will claim that Jeffrey Epstein didn't work for the Israeli government. You just make me sick. And you know what will be done about it? Absolutely nothing. You want to know why? Because President Trump is bought and paid for by Israel. His biggest donor, she gave him $250 million. And she's telling him, if you run for a third term, I'll give you another $250 million. Let's put that in perspective also. President Trump is a billionaire, and all it took was $250 million to buy him, so Israel can control him. 250, that's it. President Trump has so much money, he doesn't even need their money to run for. He could have used his own money and ran and won. He didn't need their money. But that's how the world goes, right? That's why the corruption never ends. The corruption just keeps going on and on and on and on. And now it's coming out that Zohran Mamdani, there's a possibility that Epstein is his daddy. Are you really surprised? I'm not surprised. We're talking about humans eating other humans. Let's say they can eat any steak in the world. They can have any lobster, any shrimp. They can have the best food. They don't even got to cook it. They can eat it 100 times a day with all their money. But hey, let's eat some babies' intestines. That's what the Satanists do. That's who Trump was covering up for. This is what Trump ruined his legacy for. This is what Trump ruined his legacy for. To cover this type of garbage up. Good job, Trump. Great job. Great job. Let's go to the next let's go to Billie Eilish. Let's go to this piece of garbage, this piece of trash. What a piece of trash. Let's look at this little degenerate, in her little man costume, cosplaying as a man. Nice outfit, Billie.
On stolen land.
Oh, hold on. I got to start it over again. Hold on. No one is illegal on stolen land. Well, maybe if you learned, second grade history, you effing moron, it's conquered land. They were conquered. Just like around the world when one group conquers another and then they instill laws. But it's only a problem in America. You ever notice that with these communists? You ever notice that with these little commies? They don't talk about the rest of the world. At one time, every part of the world was occupied by one group, and then another group came and tried to conquer them, and they either won or they got conquered. But these little communists, these little terrorists, they only have a problem with America and the American Indian situation. And learn history, Billie Eilish. Maybe we need to take a break from cosplaying as a man.
No one is illegal on stolen land.
Oh, God. Look at her face. Oh, yes, Billie. Yes. Look at her. She's about to cry. This is why nobody watches this shit. Total shit. Total bunch of commies. Hollywood, do you understand what you did to yourself? Nobody even gives a F about you anymore. Nobody cares about you. Like when I was coming up, when Tom Cruise made a movie, I love Tom Cruise. We knew who everybody knew who the stars were. They were stars. Everybody knew. Now, nobody gives a F. You know why they don't give a F? Because of garbage like this. We don't need to be preached to by idiots like Billie Eilish. And look at her face. Another demon. Yeah, Billie. Look at her brother. He looks like he has super high estrogen. Does he have a vagina? Let's check it out. Did you see that hat? Like, what do they wear? What are these people wearing to this shit? What are they wearing at this garbage?
And yeah, it's just really hard to know what to say and what to do right now. And
yeah, it's really hard to know what to do and what to say. You know what you should do? You should shut the F up. Here, I'll give you some advice. Shut the F up. Take your millions from your shitty movie and shut the F up, or your shitty music and F off.
I feel really hopeful in this room, and I feel like we just need to keep fighting and speaking up and protesting, and our voices really do matter, and the people matter. And I say sorry.
All right, I had enough. I'm gonna puke. It's whatever. And you know what's comical about this? She said nobody's illegal on stolen land. Then an article gets written today that the mansion, the $3 million mansion or $6 million mansion that she owns in Los Angeles is actually like on tribal lands. Isn't how ironic these idiots every time they open their mouth? Hey, Billie, do us all a favor then. Take your mansion, take all your belongings, and donate it to the indigenous people whose your house is on their land, and donate all your valuables to them, Billie Eilish. Of course you won't, you little piece of communist trash. You won't do anything. I can't stand these celebrities. I really can't. Pedro Pascal, another douchebag. I wanted to go watch the Fantastic Four, and then I realized he was in it. I said, F it. I'm not spending my hard-earned money on this shit. Because that's exactly what it is. Then Don Lemon. What a piece of garbage he is, huh? I love seeing Don Lemon get arrested. It brought me so much joy to see Don get locked up. Yeah. You know, when you're starting out in journalism and you're doing street interviews, You do that because you want to get a job promotion so you can be in studio. Excuse me. You're doing that because you want to be in the studio. And let's look at Don Lemon's career. You know, the race baiter. He hates all white people. Meanwhile, he goes home and gets in bed with one. Everything is, racial 24 hours a day. You got idiots like Chris Cuomo calling him a journalist and trying to stick up for him. He does anything but journalism. He's a lying, racist, anti-American, race baiting, hateful, racist individual. That's what Don Lemon is. And he went to that church. He didn't go to the church to do journalism. A journalist tells the pastor or the priest, like, hey, when you're done, can we go in the back and we just have a conversation? I just want to ask you your opinion on a couple things. That's what a journalist does. What did Don Lemon do? He went into a church with 100 other liberal lunatics with purple hair, green hair, men that think they're women and all that other shit. He went into the church. He tried to close it down. They're in there screaming. They're screaming in children's faces. The children can't get to their parents because the protesters are blocking them. The kids are screaming and yelling. And Chris Cuomo, the murdering scumbag, he's a scumbag just like his brother. They're responsible for thousands of people's deaths during COVID. Thousands of people died horrible deaths because of the Cuomo brothers. But hey, they're good guys, right? Chris Cuomo goes on the Patrick Bet-David show, and he's defending him to no end that he's doing journalism. That's what he's doing. You call that journalism, Chris Cuomo? I mean, I know the hair plugs, the steroids, the teeth whitening, the tanning. It all might be affecting your brain, Chris Cuomo. I know that. We all know that. But you call what Don Lemon does journalism? Oh, nothing will make me happier to see Don Lemon, Don the Bomb, go to prison. I absolutely love it. I love it. I would love to see him go. You know what? Prison for Don Lemon, he would actually enjoy it. I know he definitely would borrow stuff, and he definitely wouldn't pay back because he would love the consequences of that. I'm not going to get into that. I'm trying to keep the show. I don't want to go X-rated on anybody. But hey, it's me. I got a bad attitude. Let's bring him up on he attacks Vinny on the PBD podcast. I'm going to play a little bit. They're always attacking Vinny. They're always attacking
I think the difference is your political opinion and how loud you are.
No,
that's
it doesn't
what
matter.
I think the difference
because
is.
I get emotional, Chris, because I don't get how you guys don't understand it. Your side, Chris, has no leaders, no policies.
Obviously, I'm going to start it from the beginning. Just give me a second.
Nothing. All you guys do is run on fear and drama and chaos. That's it.
I think the difference.
See, they always attack Vinny. Out of the entire PBD podcast, including Patrick Bet-David himself, because Patrick Bet-David is obviously compromised, Vinny's heart is in the right place all the time. Vinny is the only person, and Tom, Vinny is the only person that has credibility on the PBD podcast. The only person. And my suggestion to Vinny is this, because I get excited too sometimes when I talk, and that's what the other side will do. They know they're completely wrong. They know they don't have anything to stand on because it's nothing but lies. So then they'll try to attack your tone of voice, that your tone is threatening. Trust me, I'm going through this right now with a bunch of losers. So I'm not a drinker, so I don't advocate drinking. But Vin, this is my advice to you. Maybe have a vodka and cranberry juice before the show. Just one a day. It's actually good for you. Get your circulation going, calm the nerves, calm you down a little bit so you could talk. Listen, I got no problem with the way you talk, Vin. Zero. I get it. Trust me. But just so they don't have an out always to go to, because Adam does this to you. Chris Cuomo, the dirtbag, does this to you. And I don't like when they do it to you. Because Vinny is the only person on this show that is telling the truth.
This is your political opinion and how loud you are.
No, it doesn't matter.
I love when Chris Cuomo, the murdering piece of garbage, talks like he's talking from some moral high ground. Him and his low-life brother are responsible for thousands of elderly patients dying painful deaths in New York City because they didn't want to take equipment from President Trump to make him look good. And this scumbag is still walking the street.
I think the difference.
Because I get emotional, Chris, because I don't get how you guys don't understand it. Your side, Chris, has no leaders, no policies, nothing. All you guys do is run on fear and drama and chaos. That's it.
I think the difference is your political opinion.
I agree with you, Vin. And this is the only thing that he can attack. You know, this idiot's on there making every excuse in the world for Don Lemon, Don the bomb. That Don was doing journalism. Okay, Chris. Right. Okay. Lay off the steroids, the hair plugs, the tanning, the teeth whitening. It's infecting your brain, Chris. Really is. Next up, let's talk about the ERIKA KIRK tapes. Oh my God. It just keeps ERIKA KIRK, it just keeps getting worse and worse for her. She's just so creepy, man. She really is. I used to think that Jill Biden, excuse me, I'm wheezing. I used to think that Jill Biden was literally the most evil woman on the planet. You know, she propped up her husband like Weekend at Bernie's. Meanwhile, the guy's a vegetable shitting in his pants. And she did that just to retain power. She had her husband out there for the world to see. And he's obviously a compromised, old, corrupt, perverted vegetable that totally lost his mind and can't even go to the bathroom. You know, he shit in his pants walking out to Air Force One. We all saw the video. And I used to say, man, talk about an evil woman, right? They all got a problem with Candace Owens. I'm not trying to go too far off track here, right? It's so funny that all these podcasters, all these so-called conservative podcasters are attacking Candace Owens because she's acting like a detective. When a detective gets a case, if there's 100 leads, they follow all the leads. Not all the leads are going to work out. You might get 20 leads and 7 work out. So Candace Owens is discussing all the leads she gets, and she might go down a couple roads where nothing pans out, but she's found plenty of stuff that did pan out. And all of these, and what it is all these so-called conservative podcasters are getting a check from Israel and Benjamin Netanyahu to say positive things about Israel. We all know, Tim Pool, you're totally compromised. When Tim Pool takes off his beanie, he looks like Benjamin Netanyahu's grandson. And they're all attacking Candace, and all Candace is doing is getting to the bottom of who assassinated her friend in public. She's following all leads, and they're all attacking her for it. But they don't attack ERIKA KIRK. And the best one is this. This is the best part about it. This is the hypocrisy in the whole thing. They'll be like, oh, Candace Owens is making millions of dollars off of her videos. And what is ERIKA KIRK making? ERIKA KIRK isn't profiting off of Charlie's death. She's letting people take pictures. She's charging people money to take pictures in the tent that he was assassinated in. Since the second that the man died, all she has been doing is making money for herself and capitalizing off of Charlie Kirk's death. And all we hear about is how Candace is capitalizing off of Charlie Kirk's death. Do I hear ERIKA KIRK discuss getting to the bottom of who killed her husband? Of course I don't. And people keep saying, oh, what about her children? What about her children? You think ERIKA KIRK gives a shit about her kids? She didn't love Charlie Kirk. She wasn't in love with Charlie Kirk. She was his handler. She was a plant. It's business. You believe that love story that they met in Israel kissing the wall and she didn't know who he was? People keep saying, well, where's her and her kids? She doesn't care about those kids, just like she don't care about Charlie. And there's other rumors going around that one of those children might not even be Charlie's. But hey, let's all get mad at Candace for trying to get to the bottom of who killed Charlie. And then because a lot of people are paying attention to the story. If you wanted to kind of follow up on Charlie Kirk's assassination, if you took a time out, give yourself a deep breath. Fox News isn't covering it. None of the news stations cover it. Candace is obviously not getting a check from Israel. So if you wanted to pay attention to who murdered Charlie Kirk, wouldn't you tune into Candace's show? Doesn't it make sense? Okay, let me tune in and see what she has to say. See, some people didn't turn the other page. Some people actually care that a young man was assassinated and got shot in the neck in front of, the entire world and want to get to the bottom of it. But what Charlie Kirk wants what ERIKA KIRK wants you to do, and what Benjamin Netanyahu wants you to do, and what Israel wants you to do, they want you to turn the page and pretend like it never happened. Oh, business as usual. Oh, yeah. And when she comes out The best is when ERIKA KIRK comes out at these events and there's fireworks and there's sparklers. She's in her leather pants. It's like WWE as she pops out of the stage and does a backflip into a karate kick. She comes out there like this, like Jesus, like humming. She's the last person I want praying or preaching to me about anything. She is evil. She's so evil, it's ridiculous. And I'm so tired of people. The person you should be calling evil is ERIKA KIRK, but you all have a problem with Candace Owens. But hey, welcome to 2026. We're good is bad and bad is good. Let's hear some of these tapes. ERIKA KIRK tapes released. Just listening to her voice is sickening.
Welcome back. Candace Owens just leaked.
All right, can we play the video? The music's annoying.
Candace Owens has now released even more alleged.
All right, let me try to
following
get
Charlie's
to this.
memorial. ERIKA is boasting about merch sales.
Here we go. Here we go.
Like
Look at Gargamel. She looks like Gargamel from the Smurfs. You know, remember Gargamel? That's who ERIKA KIRK reminds me of. Stop. What do you want to say to the people that are criticizing you about your behavior towards Charlie Kirk, your husband? Stop. Okay, Gargamel. Right.
Future.
Turning Point USA will continue like my husband always wanted. We're going to work hard because that's what he would want. I will fight like hell.
What is wrong with her face? Why is her face like this big? It looks like her jaw is broken or something. I mean, we all know she's into some weirdo stuff anyway.
Make sure that all of you have a job here. I don't want anyone to think the job's in jeopardy.
All the fake crying. You don't want anybody to think their job is in jeopardy. Get to work 24 hours. You're working 24 hours a day or you're out of here. And by the way, if you need a vacation day, it's on you. We're not paying you to take off. That was on tape too. She's like, yeah, I know you guys been working 18, 20 hours a day. And if you need a day off, it's on you. Okay, ERIKA. ERIKA, I don't know who your handlers are, right? We all know nobody's going to investigate. The police and the FBI are not going to investigate Charlie's murder because they already know who did it. So you should just do yourself a favor. If I'm handling ERIKA KIRK, you know what I tell her? Just shut up. Just stop talking. That's what I would tell her. Because Charlie's assassin's never going to be brought to justice, ever. It's never. What are you going to do? Bring in the Benjamin Netanyahu and the Israeli government and try and convict him? They control President Trump in the United States of America. They're not getting convicted of anything. Let's let Gargamel finish. Sorry, she brings out the worst in me.
Because your family, I think Charlie's just... I'm trying not to say that he would be... He's obviously celebrating in heaven.
Charlie is celebrating in heaven. You think so? That's an interesting concept. You don't think he'd like to be alive? He's celebrating in heaven, ERIKA? Wow. I mean, hey, guys, I'm not a relation expert by any stretch of the imagination, but if you meet a girl that gives you ERIKA KIRK vibes, let me give you some advice. Run.
Amongst many things, but he's so proud of all of you. It's just, I feel so blessed and honored.
You know, like with the last clip, the reaction to it was sort of a mixed bag, but here you had Candace think.
All right, I don't want to hear this dude talk. I'm just trying to get the video in, so I'm doing a reaction to a reaction right now.
Start.
Yep, there you go. Oh, look at all the thumbs up. Look how cute that is. Sorry, this is a little bit more informal than probably Charlie would be reacting. How sweet.
Since her husband died, right? Literally, since Charlie was I shouldn't say it like that. It's not that Charlie died. He was assassinated. And I think she was a part of it. And I've been saying that since day one, and I'm not apologizing for it at all. Does this look like a grieving widow to you? Seems like somebody that's very enthusiastic about everything. You know, the so-called love of her life just took a bullet in his neck. And she seems pretty happy about it. You know, walking into a $300 million organization. And you saw the other tapes. Leading up to Charlie's death, she was never seen like up front at Turning Point USA. She was always like away. In the last 2 or 3 months, she kept coming to the forefront more and putting herself out there. She knew exactly what was going to happen to Charlie Kirk. And she just did that so the takeover, the switch over could go directly to her and nobody would question it. It's exactly what she was doing.
Sweet. I didn't know they could do that. I hate Zoom. I never liked Zoom. Sorry, you guys. I just wanted to say first and foremost, my heart obviously is broken for you guys as much as it is for our family.
Also in the videos we've now seen, Erika encourages people.
Oh, I gotta keep doing this. Hold on.
They grieve.
Be soft with them and one another. Everyone grieves differently. So if someone's acting weird, don't read into that.
Everyone, like Erika Kirk's advice, everybody grieves differently. So if somebody's acting weird, don't read into it. Really? Is that another way to distract us from your behavior, Erika? That seems like a pretty convenient answer because I haven't seen any grieving process at all. But hey, not just me.
Wish I could hug all of you. But again, the fact that there's a lot of them in the office today.
She's like, I wish I could hug all of you, but I'm a psychotic narcissist and I just don't have the ability to hug anybody, including Charlie. But hey, you know, and you're probably like, oh, you're just so mean and you're mean and this and that. She filmed herself over his dead corpse in a moment that should have been private. Showing it to the world. You know, I love that man and that man and that. Like, is there any decency anymore? You have a final moment with your husband in his casket, and that needed to be filmed. And now you want privacy, and you don't want people like me criticizing you. Do you know how you look right now? Do you know how you look? Honestly, you look worse than Jill Biden. That's how you look. You look more evil than Jill Biden right now.
The fact that a lot of you guys are here in office, that's what you It's the mission. He doesn't want you to just be sitting on the couch alone in your room.
So one of Candace's biggest issues with this is that the employee.
Oh, God. You know, she wants them to slave 22 hours a day working. All right, you get the point. I don't need to keep beating a dead horse, but it just keeps getting worse and worse for Erika Kirk. You know, she can't help her. It's just her whole. I don't think there's any goodness in her whatsoever. And then you see all the things that Candace has uncovered, all the lies. You know, she was at Fort Huachuca the day before Charlie was executed. All the shady ties to the military-industrial complex, all the lies that they've been caught in. They've been caught in a million, just lying about the stupidest, simplest things. And that's what guilty people do. When you're guilty of something, you got to lie, and you tell so many lies that you don't remember, and then you get caught lying. It's just like her security, Erika Kirk and Charlie Kirk's security. They said, first there was drones, there were no drones, and then everything unraveled into a big lie. And that's what they're doing. They just continuously lie. Let me see what else is next. Don Lemon arrested, thank God. Zohran Mamdani on Epstein Island. What a joke. Chris Cuomo. Oh, I wanted to talk about Bill O'Reilly. Bill O'Reilly, he goes on Newsmax and he totally loses his mind. You know, I used to like O'Reilly's show. I don't know, Bill, I hope he's not ill. He kind of looks like he's a little sick. I don't know. He doesn't look very good, Bill, but I'm glad he's still got some fight and spunk to him. He goes on Newsmax and totally loses his mind. He's talking about ICE and what's going on in Minneapolis and that piece of garbage mayor in Minneapolis. During those protests, during the protest, Jacob Frey, the mayor of Minneapolis, he won't allow the local police or state police to be there to gain control of the streets. So the mayor and Timmy Walsh, Tampon Timmy the pedo, they're telling local police and state police, stand down. So the streets are total chaos right now. And they're attacking ICE agents. And now you have the problems that we have in Minnesota. And Bill O'Reilly goes crazy about this. And he nails it perfectly what he says. Tampon Timmy and the mayor and Ilhan Omar, President Trump needs to lock them up for inciting a riot. They know exactly what they're doing. They're causing chaos. They are responsible for those deaths that went on over there. But Democrats wanted this to happen. You know why they wanted it to happen? You know why Ilhan Omar wanted those two people to die? You know why Tampon Timmy wanted them to die? You know why Jacob Frey wanted those two people to die? So it would take all the attention off the fraud that's going on in Minnesota. And that's exactly why. They don't care about humans. If you cared about the public and you cared about people as you claim, why wouldn't the police and state police be out there on the street keeping everybody calm, keeping everybody orderly, letting them protest in an orderly manner. No, you know what? You know what Tampon Timmy Walsh did? You know what Jacob Fry did, the mayor of Minnesota? I think his last name is Fry. I might be getting the first name wrong. They told the police, stand down. So there's anarchy on the streets. That's the Democratic way. That's what Democrats stand for. It's all about anarchy, chaos, and corruption. Let's see Bill O'Reilly go crazy.
Is the violence against the two people who are dead? Is the violence against the two people who are dead?
It's now Bill
All right, here we go. Let's jump in.
O'Reilly, host of the No Spin News, BillO'Reilly.com. Bill, it is good to see you. Trump has clearly changed his worldview over the weekend. How would you characterize it? Backing down, strategic pause, pivot? What's happening?
Well, he wants to stop the madness. Donald Trump knows this is no good for anybody, and he will. He's going to make a deal with Walls. I don't know what the deal will be. But the most important part of this for News Nation viewers isn't about the individual politicians. It's about the misreporting of this story in the totality. There are two different...
Misreporting? Come on. Liberal news stations tell the truth. You know, they want you to think the Gestapo's out there just murdering people for no reason. Meanwhile, the mayor of Minnesota, the governor of Minnesota, who should be under arrest, Ilhan Omar should be under arrest. They're telling the police stand down and get lost so chaos comes, is all over the streets. But it's Trump's fault and it's ISIS's fault. And I'm not happy with Trump right now at all. But this garbage going on in Minnesota right now is not Trump's fault. If anything, Trump's not doing enough. I want mass deportations, not a couple 100,000.
Different stories here. The first story is the violence against the two people who are dead. There should be an FBI task force in Minneapolis right now, right this moment. I don't know if there is one because Kash Patel has not held a press conference. Where is the FBI director? Where? You can't have Homeland Security investigate Homeland Security. You can't. Why do we have the FBI? You have so many potential crimes in the city of Minneapolis and the state of Minnesota. The only bureau who could do it would be the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Where are they? Where is Kash Patel? All right? You can debate videotape all day long. You can say whatever you want to say, but there has to be an overriding authority in this state. And there isn't. Did you see, Leland, and because you've been studying it like I have, one Minneapolis police officer protecting ICE against the demonstrators? Did you see one?
No, but that's not the FBI's job.
Do you hear this idiot? Bill O'Reilly asked him, did you see one police officer protecting ICE from these lunatic leftist protesters? And he's like, no, but that's not. It's just like, you know what, dude? You work for News Nation? Really? We got another rhino in the house. Let's make sure he never runs for office.
Investigate them.
The answer is no. The answer is no. You didn't see one.
I'm so tired of seeing Somalian flags, too. Tampon Timmy, he changed the Minnesota flag to make it look like the Somalian flag. Tampon Timmy needs to be in prison. The minute he put tampons in the little boy's bathroom, he should have been arrested for trying to groom children. But hey, let's let that fly, too. Piece of garbage.
Because there wasn't one there. And this is a public safety issue with dead people. No local or state cops. None. By order of the governor and the mayor. That is insane.
And they both should be arrested and prosecuted. The governor and the mayor. Both of them.
Well, that may be insane, Bill, but you want Kash Patel to investigate the governor because he didn't order the police to protect ICE?
You bet I do.
That's the solution?
You bet not protecting ICE. If the FBI
Is this guy a liberal or something? Like, is he like you can't understand that, how messed up that is? You don't understand that? Like, he's like confused. Why should the governor and the mayor have the police there to keep the protesters in line? You know, as they burn down buildings and attack ICE agents with weapons. Why would you want the police there? You effing clown. You're just another effing clown. Putz. Your father pukes at the sight of you.
guy comes in and finds that the agents, the federal agents, one ICE, one Border Patrol, all right, were derelict in their duties or used malice, I want those people indicted. Clear? Are we clear? But on the same token, you have got 2 elected officials that could be charged with rebellion and insurrection.
If I'm an ICE agent and 40 people surround me after I tell them to back up and you keep trying to get at me, we're going to have problems. Because I know at the end of the day, I'm going home. So you could think whatever you want to call me, I'm cool with it.
Under the U.S. Code 2383, this is a rebellion. That is why the people are dead. Nobody brings a gun, a loaded gun, nobody, CNN, to a confrontation with federal agents who are under siege. No one does that. That man did. Because, in my opinion, he was so crazed by the situation, so agitated, as I am right now, that he had lost all judgment. Now,
look at the interviewer's face. Like, he's trying to spin this on Bill. You're not allowed to get agitated, right? You're not allowed to have any, you're not allowed to act like a man with testosterone and say this bullshit needs to stop, because then everybody spins it into you're getting emotional. That's the new word. Anytime you tell the truth and you're animated about it because you're tired of the bullshit, you're getting emotional and you're the problem. That's what the world has turned into in 2026. And that's why we have lunatics, weirdos, men in dresses going into your kindergartner's classroom, telling them to chop their penises off. That's why America is exactly where it is right now.
listen to me. The authorities, governor, mayor, feds, have to control that. The controlling bureau is the FBI, not Homeland Security. They're doing what they're ordered to do. Find and detain people who should not be here.
Okay. So you write...
One more point.
Oh, you write in your newsletter, okay.
One more.
Who gave this putz a job? Like, who gave him a job? Oh, yeah. He's totally confused from hearing the truth. It's like he hears the truth and like the demon inside him is making him whatever. ICE is doing their job, getting people that broke the law out of their country. And protesters and politicians in Minnesota, they think that they're not going to follow. You have Jacob Fry and you have Tampon Timmy and Ilan Omar and the rest of these illegals telling you openly, we're not following the law. We don't like the law. Too bad. We're going to do whatever the F we want. That's not how it works. And if I'm Trump, instead of apologizing and backing up, I'm tripling down. You don't tell me what to do, number one. Number two, if you're illegal and you're in Minnesota and plus you're committing fraud, you're out of here. And I don't care how many people you put in the street. I don't care how many agitators you pay. We run this show, not you. But what does Trump do? He throws the Border Patrol Bavino under the bus because Trump is weak. He's a weak old man that doesn't have charisma anymore, that doesn't have the power and authority anymore because he's bought and paid for, and we all know it. You're weak, Trump. So don't do the tough guy talk anymore unless you're ready to really walk the walk all the way to the end of this thing. You got 4 years. Walk the walk to the end, or you almost took a bullet for absolutely nothing. And at this point, you almost lost your life for nothing.
More point.
You write in your newsletter, when the same approach is far beyond walls.
Look,
you write the same approach on this anarchy. Who is the modern John C. Calhoun about walls? A despicable South Carolina senator who actually wanted the Civil War to happen. Do you think Walls wants the Civil War to happen and therefore should be arrested as though he was a Southern governor or something in the early or late 1850s?
Now this idiot is comparing Timmy Walls to a Southern governor from the 1850s. First of all, he's a pedo. Second of all, he's openly telling Trump, F you, I'm not following the law. And this moron doesn't think he should be arrested or prosecuted. No, you know what we should do? You know what we should do? We should just let all these Democrats in every blue city, we should just let them do whatever they want, because we don't want them to protest, cry, get emotional, throw themselves under buses, glue their hands to the street. No, we should just let them do whatever we want. That's his response to this.
I think there is evidence that should be examined, and you might be able to charge Walls with insurrection under the. You want me to read it to you? I got it right here.
Would that be good for America?
Would that be good for America? Look at this putz. Would that be good for America? Is it good for America that Somalians stole billions of dollars from the American taxpayer? Is it good for America that you have tons of illegals in Minnesota doing whatever they want? Like this, it's like, would that be good for America by prosecuting Tampon Timmy? Well, don't we always hear that nobody's above the law? And if you break the law, you should go to jail. Isn't that what we're always preached to by Democrats? Nobody's above the law. Isn't that what Alexandria Cortez always says? Isn't that what Ilhan Omar says? But then when the roles reversed and Republicans have power and they can prosecute criminal activity on the Democratic side, we're all supposed to take the high road and say, well, that's not what's good for America. After they put 9 fake cases against Trump and prosecuted and sent every single person involved with Trump in his first term was sent to prison for a short period of time under some bullshit charge, because they know they would have went before a liberal jury and got convicted and sent to prison for 20 years. I always love this stance that they take. Is this what's good for the country? But when you're trying to assassinate Trump or you're trying to put him in prison, you never hear this from these idiots. Does anybody say, is that what's good for the country? No, they're all cheering it on. Oh, he's a Republican? Send him to prison. Oh, he's a Republican? Give him the electric chair. Oh, he's a Republican? Take his life.
I don't care. Look, anarchy is the worst thing that could happen. The worst. Right now, in this present moment, de-escalation is the best thing that can happen. So Holman meeting with Fry has my 100% endorsement. Walls calling Trump, vice versa, 100%. But that doesn't excuse what has happened and is happening, which is a rebellion against the United States law passed by Congress, by a state under the governance of Walls and a city where Fry runs. Look, if you continue, and I say you in a general sense, to allow states and cities to not enforce federal law, you don't have a country. It goes, okay? Everybody should understand.
So then why is Trump
now, here's the
backing
second
down?
part of the story.
Now he blames Trump. Why is Trump backing down? After he just got done saying prosecuting Tampon Timmy wouldn't be good for America. Now he blames Trump. Who is this putz, and why does he have an effing job?
He's trying to defuse. Why would you say he was backing down? You want a CNN contract? He's not backing down. He's diffusing.
I love when O'Reilly said that. Why are you saying Trump backed down? You want a CNN contract? Exactly. Where did News Nation get this putz from?
He should. Now, here's the most important part of this whole thing.
They're all sickos, man. These libs, they're all sickos, all of them. Their brain function, the way it functions, their logic is just, it's scary. They're scary.
Unreported, okay? There is a man in Shanghai, China, an American citizen. His name is Neville Roy Singham. He works with the Beijing government. He is funneling millions of dollars into the United States of America through 501s like Party for Socialism and Liberation, Democratic Socialists of America, Minnesota Immigration Rights Action Committee.
This piece of garbage needs to be prosecuted by the feds and sent to prison for 20 years. If he wants to fund all these protesters, the anarchy, the chaos, he needs to go to prison.
There he is, okay?
Piece of garbage.
Born, 71 years old, billionaire tech guy. He is funneling money here to these radical organizations who are then agitating professional people, communists mostly, because Singham's a communist, all right, to go in and foster rebellion. You heard that story reported? That is absolutely true. The man has been investigated by the FBI in the past, this Singham character, okay? This isn't some organic thing. This is a foreign power, Beijing, using this American citizen who lives openly in Shanghai in luxury, knowing that this man is funneling tens of millions, probably more, into this country to try to destroy the government. What the deuce is that? Where are you, New York Times? All right? That's the second part of the story. There's a local federal story, and there's the international story. And I've had it. You don't like what I'm saying? Blank you, because I'm telling you the truth. And this has got to stop and be exposed across the board. No more sanctuary states and cities. No more of this insurrection. It stops. And federal agents keep the gun in the holster unless you can't. Not I might. Got it, everybody?
Okay. We actually had somebody on. We've been following the Neville Roy Singham story. January 6th, this is the Free Press reporter who's been working on it. Take a listen.
Neville Roy Singham, he's a tech millionaire. He's also a Marxist, and he has very close ties to part of the propaganda machine of the Chinese Communist Party. And from 2017 to 2022, we were able to trace at least $20 million that was funneled into the People's Forum.
So why don't you think the FBI... Right. Why don't you think the FBI has indicted him or any of the people who are being paid, who are actually in the United States in these protests or in this resistance movement?
I don't know. I don't know where Kash Patel is. He should have a press conference tomorrow. I don't know. All I know is I'm a journalist and I'm telling you the truth. I am sick and tired of false reporting based on ideology, of pie in the sky garbage, of people like Whoopi Goldberg accusing agents of murder. How dare you? How dare you? What about due process, Ms. Goldberg? And Disney knows that's going to happen. Knows it and puts it on. I'm fed up with it.
Okay.
Well, Bill, we all know who runs Disney and ESPN, and we know why they do it. But hey, you're not allowed to talk about that, right?
Where does this go from here? Betting odds right now, who will be the first to leave Trump's cabinet? Kristi Noem, 40%, Pam Bondi, 19%, Kash Patel.
All right, I'm going to end it with that. So you saw Bill. I think this is one of the angriest times. I've never seen Bill this angry, and he has every right to be angry. And it's about time that Trump starts playing hardball. The way that Democrats play hardball with Republicans, locking you up on false charges, you have legitimate charges here. You have legitimate anarchy here. The money's being funneled in from a billionaire tech guy. He needs to be arrested and prosecuted. Jacob Fry, arrested and prosecuted. Tampon Timmy the pedo, arrested and prosecuted. Ilhan Omar married her brother to come to America, is part of the billions of fraud in Minnesota, arrested and prosecuted, deported. It's really as simple as that. So we're waiting, Trump. We voted for you to get rid of this type of garbage. You act like a tough guy. You're coming for everybody. Now the easy cop-out will be, is that what's good for America? And what do you think Democrats are going to do when they get back in power? You don't think they're going to come after you? You don't think they're going to come after every Republican that was mocking and criticizing them? You don't think so? You haven't paid attention to their track record? Oh, no, let me guess. Trump is going to take the high road, right? No, you know what I call it? I call it being a coward. That's what I call it. It's about time. Nobody's above the law. That's all we ever hear from Democrats. Well, Ilhan Omar's not above the law. Tampon Timmy's not above the law. Jacob Fry's not above the law. It's time to lock them up and prosecute them. And with that being said, thanks for tuning in to Unbreakable with Chris Chamasiros.